What's going on, everyone? Today I'm very excited because we just got some new LEGO Star Wars gameplay details, all of that at the IGN Fan Fest, and literally I'm recording this video right afterwards. A lot of cool things came out. Some interesting things came out in kind of like that developer showcase video, and then of course IGN interviewed the game's director. I did watch that. I'm not really gonna cover that in this video. Basically just kind of interview questions. The only really noteworthy thing from that, which I would probably recommend going back and watching it if you haven't, if the link is still available, which I'll have down below in the video's description. So basically, the director for the game kind of broke down how the travel system will work a little bit better. Still somewhat confused about it, but he's basically saying that in a specific planet, so we'll take Tatooine for instance, there'll be multiple kind of hub areas. So there'll be Mos Espa, there'll be Mos Eisley, there might be like the Lars Homestead. So these will be fast travel points. And within that, there'll be kind of like a mini contained map, which may have side missions or we'll have story missions. And of course, all that will be integrated throughout all the levels. So if you're playing episode 4, you can kind of go back and visit areas from episode 1. Still kind of unclear whether certain areas will change throughout these certain levels or how far you progress in the game. But it seems like it's all very open world and you basically can explore whatever you want. Okay, so what I really want to get to in this video is going to be a quick breakdown of the developer diary video. We got some really interesting things, something that I'm very excited to talk about. But I mean, in the beginning, we just kind of get the normal kind of additional gameplay, some new looks at stuff. Probably the most noteworthy thing here is we get another detailed look at the main entrance to Jabba's palace, and we have that singer lady. I don't know, a lot of people seem to hate her from that George Lucas edit, but very interesting. We have kind of these more obscure characters that are actually playable, and then we have Max Rebo in the back, who of course isn't really atomically correct, but still fun nonetheless. Now we get into some really cool things. So I'm assuming that this is going to be the boss battle in episode 3. I would assume that you start the level off as Mace Windu fighting Chancellor Palpatine, and then the second half of the battle you're going to be playing as Anakin fighting Mace Windu. Now, probably the biggest thing and the most exciting thing from this whole video are going to basically be these level layouts, I'm going to call them. So they're basically essentially a frame by frame breakdown of what each episode is going to look like. So of course they have the kind of cutscenes, the intros, and then they have the levels themselves. So this is really cool to see. I would recommend just pausing the video to take a look at the screenshot and kind of looking it over. One quick thing is like, okay, so episode 2 pre-3, which is on the far right side, you'll see Tatooine Mos Espa, and it's actually a screenshot of Qui-Gon Jinn. So this is what I was going to talk about earlier in the video. You can go to these areas throughout multiple episodes. So I'm assuming that this still is actually from the episode 1, but nonetheless, you revisit it in episode 2. So for these layouts, we have episode 2, episode 1, which I don't know why they didn't put them in order, and then episode 4. So I was really happy to see these. We do know that there's 5 levels per episode, and we can actually see all 5 levels per episode. And as you can see from episode 1, it looks like there's a lot of kind of shorter or mini levels before you get to the actual levels. So you can see we got the Naboo local space, which is going to be a space battle where we kind of board the Trade Federation ship, and then we got the Trade Federation ship, the inside. Then we have the Naboo swamp, the Gungan City, and then we actually have the first official level, which looks like it is Escape the Korra. It's basically that fish creature. And then the next level, of course, is going to be pod racing, and then we have the Retake Naboo, so the fight against Darth Maul, the Battle of Naboo, so assuming you'll be Jar Jar Binks, and then finally, number 5, the command ship. Pretty straightforward there. It seems like there's a lot of levels back to back between level 3 and 5, and a lot of kind of exploration before level 3. So that's kind of an interesting layout. And now going back in the video to episode 2, we of course have the main intro on Coruscant. And then the first level is the Sam Wessel chase. And then level 2 is going to be the Jango Fett boss battle. Level 3, of course, is going to be kind of that Geonosian kind of droid facility. 4 is going to be the Geonosian arena. And then 5, of course, is going to be the Count Dooku battle. And then kind of skipping ahead to episode 4, which I was really hoping we'd see a little bit more of episode 3. But we do see a little bit more of that later, but not a full breakdown. But here, just another kind of generic kind of layout. So it's really cool to see these, to see kind of how the levels are broken down and what we can expect from the game for the most part. Moving along, after these kind of level layouts, we get a couple pieces of concept art, which look very good. Of course, we got some new kind of molded creatures designed specifically for this game, which I hope that LEGO turns into actual products later on. But, you know, of course, for these LEGO games, there's always characters or creatures that are created, which LEGO just simply haven't made. So, I mean, of course, there's plenty that came out in the complete saga, and to this day, we still don't have figure molds or creature molds or anything like that. So, you know, it kind of sucks that we're not going to see everything from this game in real life one day. So moving along to this kind of episode 2 quick cutscene, it looks like we're in the Jedi archives or the library, and I just wanted to quickly show you the screenshot because we can see Mace Windu on the left, and I want to say in the middle it looks like it's kind of a hologram of Count Dooku before he turned. Of course, this could be another character, but that's just what it looks like to me at first glance. The next notable thing throughout the video is actually going to be the screenshot that I took kind of the level layout. They talked a lot about the assets that they use throughout the game, how many different molds and kind of objects they had to create, including textures. On my last video, I talked about why the game was delayed, a lot of problems the developers had with the game, and a lot of them just weren't really satisfied working on the game. A lot of it having to do with the work conditions, but one of the bigger reasons was because of the new TT Games engine, which you can see at the top left here says NTT. So this was a new engine that TT Games built specifically for this game. And of course, a lot of developers never use this engine because it was brand new and it was built in-house at TT Games. So a lot of the developers were very frustrated with this engine because it's like, you know, Unreal Engine has become super cheap to use. It's an industry standard at this point. It's widely accepted, widely used, so why don't we just use that? So I know that caused a lot of issues at TT Games, so if you haven't seen my last video talking about that, I might link it right now or leave it down below in the video description, but nonetheless, I would recommend checking that out at some point too. The next really cool thing that we saw is we got kind of some character breakdowns or 3D modeling, concept art, whatever you want to call it. We got some of Rathtar, the Orbak, and then Woomalander, so I thought these were just kind of cool to see kind of behind the scenes things with some concept art, official screenshots, and how they were able to take basically official LEGO assets like the horse piece and then kind of adapt them to fit into the Star Wars universe of characters. A lot of the remainder of the video is of course talking about you know, some of the kind of the new fighting mechanics. Of course, we got some of the unlockables like Mumble Mode, which a lot of people of course are happy to see return in this game. And then kind of moving along, we get this really cool shot of the Obi-Wan Anakin fight from episode 3. So that's definitely probably going to be one of the top levels I'm looking forward to playing. And then finally, 2 more things I want to talk about really quickly before we kind of wrap up this video. Here is a quick kind of screenshot or a quick clip of kind of that travel system that I was talking about earlier. So for a specific planet, there might be 3 or 4 hub locations where you can land, and then from there you can explore the kind of the open area or the open map, and then that's how you can access levels too. And then finally, the last really thing I want to talk about in this video is Phase 2 Commander Cody. A lot of people have been asking for an official minifig for a very long time, and I couldn't agree more. I think we need one. It's been way too long since we had any form of Cody in official LEGO minifigure form. Hopefully we'll get something like that later this year, but it was just really cool to see him in a 3D modeled form specifically for this game, and I feel like the developers kind of know about the fandom wanting an official minifig, so they made sure to put this kind of first-person clip in this developer video. So yeah, I mean, that's really it. It was really cool to see something like this come out about the game. We haven't really gotten a whole lot in hindsight, and you know, it's getting pretty close to March, so we're getting pretty close to that 1 month point until the game releases. So I don't expect to see a whole lot else come out in March for this game. maybe just kind of some things on Twitter, Instagram, some really short kind of promotional clips that we've been seeing the past few weeks. So yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to this game. I'm thinking about downloading it digitally on my PS5 so I can start playing the game as soon as it releases April 5th. And I can't wait to play the game and basically continue making these videos and talk about it more with you. I'm planning on releasing a few more videos about the Skywalker Saga throughout March before the game officially releases on April 5th. So if you're interested in seeing those at a later point, as well as just watching LEGO Star Wars content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'm really excited for what's next.